were in my favor. I had 'em 5-1. And that nag to win came around the track. Sure enough, we had won.
It takes me about 35, 40 minutes to get here in the morning, so I got to get up. I normally get up about 4 to make it here, for 5:30. I work a lot of horses for Mike Reavis, and I also work with a lot of horses for Rivelli. I mean, it's like this morning. I know that I'm going to have a lot of workers. Mike will be, Cipriano will let me know, hey, in the morning we're going to be really busy, and so just be prepared, Work is basically setting them up for the race to try to teach them how to rate, maybe teach them how to relax, teach them how to run, to get them fit, maybe put them in behind horses, in between horses, on the inside, outside, work them from the gate, and just basically try to teach them the way to do things the right way, so they're most prepared for when the race day comes. At each gap, they have the spotters to take the horse's name and the distance of what we're working.
Half a mile. Tricky Roy.
They have the clockers upstairs that time the horses and the work so they can put those in the daily racing form and in the program. They want to put speed into a horse. I might go out there and work them a real fast 3/8. Or if they got a horse that's routing that they're trying to get to, that maybe coming off of a sprint that's routing, you might go work them a slow mile. Just basically you're just do whatever they ask, and you're just trying to make them happy because they're the ones paying. On some mornings, got a lot of workers, it's real busy, so you're kind of pressed for time. We were trying to get a lot of workers out before break came. We wanted to try to get as much as we could out before the real heat came. So Cipriano had led a bunch of horses up to the paddock so we can try to get them out. We're just rushing, trying to get them as many as we could out. Pretty much work all the horses over there for Mr. Mike. So we were in a hurry, and it makes it a little bit easier. It makes things go a little faster when we got a lot of good help over by Mr. Mike, and they're able to bring the horses up and switch them in the paddock like that.
I'll be right over there. All right, and we'll get them out. We'll get them out as fast as we can, if you want to. No time.
I had a lot of horses to work for Rivelli too. He had a bunch over there, and I wasn't quite sure until I got to the barn for Mike exactly how many he had and what time he was really wanting to work them. And
Boy, will you get this horse? Will you take him, please? Hey. Thank you.
Rivelli had a lot of horses to go also. He had some horses that needed to go in company. He had time set up with other riders. So I was really busy. I was on the phone trying to get a hold of him and find out exactly, and trying to talk to Cipriano and find out when everybody was ready. They were waiting. They were ready to go out as soon as I got to the barn. There's all different strategies. Whatever the trainer wants me to do. When you're working in company, if sometimes the trainer wants to try to teach the horse to rate. So they'll put let the other horse open up a little bit, a couple lengths or so, whatever they want you to do, and tell you just sit off of them until you straighten away from home, and maybe let him eat some dirt so he can get used to the dirt, so he's, even the poly track comes back too. There's some horses that any little thing hits them in the face that they don't like it. So you try to maybe put them in behind horses to teach them maybe to get used to that. I've won a lot of races on horses that I've never seen before in my life until I got on their backs, you know. After riding so many races and after being on horses my whole life, you pick up on horses, you know, actions right away as soon as you get on them. You can pick up on a horse fast, you know, just as well as they can do the same for a rider. You know, if a guy gets up there, if anybody gets up there, I mean, they can sense if you're scared. If you know, they're smart animals. You got to keep your head picked up. I mean, your horses that are going the wrong way are supposed to be on the outside jogging. You're not supposed to gallop on the outside fence when you're going the wrong way. You're not supposed to gallop on the rail. The rail is designated for your workers. You know, your gallopers are supposed to stay to the middle of the track. You got to pay attention. You always got to be aware of where you're at and aware of where everyone else is at. You know, we've got the gate out there for many different reasons. We were trying to get these babies ready, get them sharp for the races. Horses, they don't know how to break. Typically what they do with the baby, a horse that's never been there, first they'll bring them behind the gate, not even put them in there, just let them see the gate, get used to it. After that, they'll bring them in, let them stand in the gate for a minute and back them out. They'll do that a few times before they open the gates. Try to do everything that you can to school them the most to make sure that you're giving yourself the best chance when the afternoon comes. A bullet work means the horse worked the fastest work of the day at that particular distance. I tend to not pay a whole lot of attention to the work, so say it's because a horse might work in a minute under a halt, and another horse might work in a minute at a full drive. You don't know how that horse worked. It says, you know, it just says the horse worked in a minute. You don't know if he was all out using everything that he had to work in a minute, or if he was dragging you around there.
How many so far? How many? Number 7.
You have some horses that go out there and work, you know, great. They run last. You know, that happens too. You know, they call it morning glories. And there's other horses that are exact opposite. You know, you'll get on some horses, they don't even want to go to the track. They're lazy. You know, they get on the track, work slower than any horse out there in the morning. You know, and they get out there and they run great races. So sometimes the horses surprise you. You know, they make liars out of you. That's for sure. Right now, it's break from 8 to 8:30 is the break time. So we're just kind of hanging out right now, taking a quick break, and be back to work here in just a little bit. You know, obviously, you know, we work on, you know, the weekends and stuff like that. A lot of people like to go do stuff on Friday nights, and most jocks don't do that. You know, you got to get up super early. I mean, it's definitely a little different than most, but it's definitely worth it, and I wouldn't ever think about doing anything different. I mean, I love doing what I'm doing, so I mean, I definitely couldn't be sitting behind a desk pushing a pencil. I could not do that for nothing. I never wanted 9-to-5 jobs.